Welcome to the While My Batteries Charge podcast. Join us as we talk about all things radio control. And now, your host,
folks, this man, he is the king.
Mr. CCxRC himself, Tony CC.
Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another While My Batteries Charge podcast. It has been a little while. That's like my intro now. It's been a little while because it's been harder and harder and harder to find time to squeeze these in. Because it's not just squeezing them in. You want to give and dedicate a quality amount of time to it. And I want to do that for you guys. So that makes it tough at times when I know that I need a good at least 30 minutes I can dedicate to just sitting here in a chair and talking to a microphone about the things that have been going on with us at CCxRC and the channel, what's been going on in the world of RC. And yeah, it's been a little bit because we had USTE in the middle of all that, and I've had new stuff I've been working on. We've been doing a lot with the store. We're doing this full time now. And so you'd think that I would have more time to do podcasts being full time. And the opposite has been the case. In order for me to make up the money that I'm missing, from when I was, doing more freelance video work, or even I had contracts that I would hold and keep, which meant that I was, working hours every week, many hours every week for different companies doing stuff that they needed me to get done. Well, this year, the end of December, beginning of January, all that changed. And I still do freelance work, and I'll pick up jobs here and there to go on. And you guys probably hear me talk about that or different things. I'm still doing video work, but I'm not holding to any contract where it's like I have to give like 30 hours, a week to any particular company or anything like that. So, so it's different, but trying to make up that gap means that I'm just working like crazy. So, on top of that, I have extra duties with stuff at the house and different things that are going on here. So, since I'm the one at home and my wife's at work, I'm the guy, taking the kids to music lessons and different things that they've got to get to in school and different things. And it's been busy since we got back from USTE. I honestly don't even remember what the last podcast talked about. And it might have been a USTE recap, if I recall. That might have been the last time. So I'm over a month now. And I owe you guys because of that. It looks like the last one was right after getting back from USTE. So February 22nd, we are now a full month since the last one. I was trying to do them much more frequently, and that has not happened. This is only number 4. We're almost doing them monthly. So I need to find a solution, because I'm working so much out of the house now because of the business side of things that I have going with CCxRC.com and the 3D printing and all that. I don't get up here to the studio as much as I used to because there's so much to do with packaging and trying to develop new things and, edit videos that I've got going on. Right now I'm in a big USTE edit that I'm jumping into. Had to do taxes. That was another thing. Because I'd done the business starting last year, it's the first time I had to do taxes accounting for that, and it was a nightmare. So we're kind of on the backside of all of that. I've still got the USTE video I'm working on hardcore now, that the taxes are done. We all got sick. The whole family got sick. And so that was just like a week of nothing, because of just everybody being out of it and just, taking care of people and, not going places, trying not to get other people sick. It's been like, since USTE, it's been nuts. But on top of that, we are doing RC stuff. We got a lot of things that we're working on. I'm working behind the scenes on new, fun, and exciting stuff for you guys. We just were doing the new FMS Smasher video, the V2, and set up a little race course on that. I'm actually up in the studio right now because so many people have been asking about the crush cars and when are they going to be back for the 24 scale trucks. And it's just been a matter of time, because I haven't been able to get up here. And so time in getting the materials in and everything I need for shipping them and all that. So it's all in. I've been up here. The first batch sold out the first not even 24 hours since listing it. About 12 hours in, they sold out. And so I'm up here making more of them. And I decided before I go back to the house, I'd stop and do this quick little podcast for you guys. So that stuff's happening. Man, that's Smasher by FMS is really cool. We had the V1s, and I was very reluctant to run them out of the box without putting in the speed motor because everybody said how slow they were, and I was like, man, I've already built all these fast ones. I'm just not going to have fun with this. They're super cool looking right out of the box. They look amazing. Hard bodies are awesome. But I was like, it's not going to be fun enough until I have time to sit down and swap out the motors. I'd already bought the speed motors. I got the speed motors before I even got the trucks because I was waiting. I knew that Jeff had them on order for Reaction RC, and I was waiting for them to come in so I could buy them from him. And they just kept never coming. And so I ended up ordering one of them online, but I got the white one from Jeff. I waited. When he got him in, I bought one from him. But yeah, so I got the blue one first, but I didn't run it. I looked at it, thought it was cool, and then I had a big trip to go on, video trip, and then got back from that, and still didn't have time because I was playing catch up. But man, when we saw him running at USTE on the little 4x8 sheet of like a sandbox, basically they built for it with the jumps and racing them, I'm like, why have I not been running these? Like these, I had run them before at that point, but they did feel slow. But once you confined it to that little area, the speed was like almost too much if you kept it to a scale little race area. And so I'm like, man, we need to get these back out and keep our areas smaller and our racing tighter. And so we've been doing that, and it's a lot of fun. And now we got the Smasher V2. They sent that to me to do a video on, and so that's coming. I'm probably going to finish that right after I finish this podcast. It's late. It's 8 p.m. here, so it's not super late, but it's just, how things go. We did dinner, we did some shopping stuff, and it's back to the grind. Just so much to do and catch up on, and always something to catch up on. So it'll be a late night again to get some of this done, and then more USTE work. It's going to be a big video that we're working on for them. It's a big project, lots of interviews, and trying to make it a little bit like a little mini documentary about USTE, just a short one. So that's the stylings of the interviews. Not to camera, not like a just quick man on the street, like talk to camera, tell them about the event. It was more, sit. We'd had some questions. Wasn't sitting, but standing, looking at me, interviewing them, talking about it. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about it, but it's going to be a lot of work. So I want to put in the time to make it good and do them right by it. So that's where we're at with that. And moving forward, but that, it's keeping me from doing some other stuff. Weather's finally turning around here, and so that's good. We tore the Primal RC apart, found out what we'd done and how we broke that, and diff just destroyed the rear axle. The screws came out of the diff housing, and bore into the axle case, and just it welded itself to it. So it's crazy. So everything locked up in the rear end, and I have a new one on order. I just ordered it today. That's got to go in. So that's a project I've got to work on, is fixing that up. I've got a new cool 10th scale bouncer chassis from Gammy RC. So I'll be building that here. We got more 10th scale stuff coming for you guys. I know a lot of you want to see more of it, and I'm itching to get out and do more of it. So waiting for the snow and the mud now to subside. It's really, really muddy. Everything is like you can't walk over on our course area because you'll just put huge, like, 4-inch deep footprints all through the side yard there. It's that muddy. So we're staying off it so it won't get all tore up. And then once it starts to dry up a little bit, we'll be over there hitting stuff, as well as the outdoor crawler course and all that again. So yeah, we've got things planned. There's what else do we have? We got some new products coming in, lipo bags. I wanted to have some made, all my lipo bags. I had a bunch of Venom ones and they're starting to fall apart. And so I was going to order some and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to see about having some made. And so I had a bunch made. And so those will be available soon. Again, it's all the things that I believe people should use. That's the kind of stuff I'm trying to stock on my store. Very, very simple stuff that I use myself. And so those are coming. We've got a few other things. Also some connectors. I don't know when those will get listed. It'll be a while before I take the time to put those up. But I'm going to have some like EC5 to Dean's connection plugs, and then some EC5 to XT60s. Things to get from the Spectrum batteries down to some of the other ESCs for people. I do it all the time. I don't want to go through my older like SMT10s and change out all of those that are running T-plug connectors when I just want to, throw in a battery that I have and run it and have some fun. So I lose the connectors all the time. So even if those don't sell, I will slowly deplete the and benefit the rest of you who are anywhere around wherever I drive, because you'll find these connectors and be able to put them into your inventory. So those are coming. So there's certain things like that. Again, things that I use, things that I need, and just kind of slowly building our inventory of things that we carry. Shock pliers are one of the things as well. I love me a set of shock pliers for a bunch of different things. Super useful, even for 24 scale. I use them all the time for things. So, so those will be on the site very soon as well. But, things are moving with that, and we're just pressing forward with it. You guys have been awesome. People seem to be loving the stuff. We introduced the Mighty Eagle servos, and people are loving those as well. And trying to keep things, kind of mid-range, not have to make everything be the $60 Mighty Chihuahuas or, other servos, but getting some in there that are under $30, under $20, and, that have decent power to them and should last people. So that's kind of where we're at with those. Just plastic case, metal gears. And, the Honey Badger's been very, very well received. Locally here, they sell like crazy, and people are running them. I was very worried about getting into electronics and, having to deal with all the warranty side of things and all that. But I mean, for the most part, they've been holding up really, really well. So, I've only had a few of them that actually burn up, like electronic wise. A few of them stripping, people dropping them off tables, stuff like that, typical things. That would strip out almost any servos. And, so it's been really good, and you guys have been awesome through all that. As far as RC goes, next purchases, I don't have anything that I'm like looking for. I know it's crazy. I did just pick up one of the Kyosho Mini Z 4x4s. Who knew that they dropped a D90? Like, I've looked, and almost nobody's doing videos on it on YouTube. I think Kyosho had a video on it, but I expected, the normal people they send them to have it, and there's been almost nothing. It's been kind of silent on it. And now, I say that, and you guys are going to all send me links to videos of it, and maybe I'm getting older. Maybe my search terms weren't very good for it, but I pretty much just typed it in, and I don't remember seeing but 3 videos on it. And, one was Kyosho, and others were a handful of other smaller channels. So, but I love D90s, like one of my favorite trucks of all time in real life. Like I absolutely love them. Traveling the world, you see them everywhere. Very rarely here in the U.S., but everywhere else. And they're iconic. They look like a safari vehicle to me. That's one of the things I think of specifically with them. But UN uses them everywhere. And so it's always been just something, they're tanks, and I just think they're amazing. So I was like, I want one of those, like a hard body mini crawler one. Yeah. Like price wasn't bad on it. I think they're like $150. Don't quote me on that. I remember being like, wow, I thought they were like $200. I'm looking it up actually right now. 170. I was a little off. Heli Direct had, nope, that's the older Jeep. Yeah, you can get it for $169. But they used to be $199 when we first bought the other ones. And it looks so killer. They've got it in multiple color schemes, 2 tones. It's fantastic. That's all I'm going to say. So I'll be doing a video on it. I got like kind of the heritage color, kind of that old mint green, like faded mint green kind of color. I don't know exactly what to call it, but you know what I'm talking about. You get the idea. I just say it's green and white, but it's definitely a very faded, minty-ish color of green. But so that's something I got that I didn't need. I think we were even on a live stream somewhere and we mentioned it, or we were on a site and saw it and they're like, wait a second, what's that? And then had to get it. But I mean, other things that are coming out that have caught my eye, I mean, the latest RC that I probably really, 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 really want is the Primal RC Gravedigger. And I really, 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 really don't want to spend $4,500 on it right now. That's the limited edition one, which looks like it's still available on their site. Maybe it's not anymore. So even if it's $4,000, $4,100 with shipping, I really, really, really don't want to spend that right now, which is why I'm putting the money back into fixing up my Raminator to keep running it. So I did buy some new of the wheels from the monster truck, the DBXL or the MTXL, the monster truck one. I got that in case something happened with the bead lock on it or I broke one of the wheels. I can't get the tires. They're sold out everywhere. So if you guys know anybody that's holding on to a set that wants to just be a nice guy and sell them to me and like not ridiculously gouged pricing, I would really be interested in buying another set of 4 of them to have to keep that truck running, into the future, hopefully for a long time. So I would love to get my hands on another set of the tires if anybody knows anyone who has a set. So, but yeah, kind of bumming that I can't get my hands on a set of those. Otherwise, if I were to get anything that I really want, and I got something that I didn't even know I wanted that just kind of came about with the Losi LMT, the TLR tuned version of that, the kit version. I also said I was not going to be doing kits, and I already built a kit this year, and it was pretty amazing build. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it's cool. I think it's unfortunate that it's longer than several of the leagues allow in their racing leagues. It can be shortened. It's just kind of a bummer that those really beautiful trailing arms and stuff that they made for it won't be usable by some leagues if they have to shorten it up. Other than that, they did some neat stuff with the wheelie bump and things like that on the back, which basically just removes the wheelie bar that they had in there and just put in something to kind of save you if you are going a little too crazy on the trigger, to kind of just knock you back down to your wheels. But without, it looks more scale. At that wheelbase too, though, it becomes problematic a little bit with bodies because most of them aren't built for that long of a wheelbase. So it'll be a little bit limiting on that, or if you're like me and don't really care if it's not perfect, you'll be fine with it. But, I mean, really like the overall on it, and the fit and finish putting it together for me was fantastic build. As somebody that doesn't love to build, really enjoyed it. Shocks were easy. TLR shocks are awesome to put together. So, on that end, everything kind of went together with that. And so had to do it quickly too, because we had to get that little promo video of it on the stand for Losi made for them to use for their marketing and their website and all that. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. So those are some of the things that have kept me away from doing this, but I haven't got to run it yet because it is not going to be a basher truck for me. I'm going to get it set up for racing. I'm hoping to be down to the No Limit World Finals this year, since a shoot I had got canceled at that time of the year. So I'm hoping to be able to go to that now. But we have Horizon RC Fest coming up and Axial Fest Badlands as well. So there's a lot of things all in a row that are going to be happening that is going to make things really crazy. So I'm going to just be keeping my head down and trying to get as much done along the way as I possibly can. I got to get my stuff back in order and decide what I'm going to take and run. Some of those races are outdoor races, so I have to decide which trucks I do and do not want to run outdoors, because I do have that new beautiful Freestyle RC Rapid X, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that for the racing, because I would love to keep it very clean and pristine like it is with the indoor racing stuff. And for the indoor racing, there's quite a few people that run indoors, so I'm kind of just torn about it. But I will run the TLR tuned one outdoors. I'm not worried about that. I just don't want to get it out in the, everything's muddy. I didn't want to run it in the wet snow and all that. So I haven't had like this desire to finish. But I also want to save up and get a censored system for it. So I don't have any of those just kicking around. So I'm kind of waiting until I can get that to finish it up. Other than that, wow, what else has been going on that's new? The Vanquish Phoenix ready to run. We've got, it's amazing. We mentioned that, I think, in the UFCE video. A lot of what we're doing is the 24 scale stuff, and we've got, we finished our indoor course, and that's been awesome to have. Man, has that been awesome to have for testing purposes. For we're going to, continue back into our build series now. I was doing one that's showing kind of all the parts that we sell and why we have them, that they're not just for no reason. And so it kind of shows how it over time helps the truck handle better than what it looked like on day one. So we haven't done much at this point. We did like diff covers. So we'll get a base level showing it on the course here, and then we'll be able to track that as we do upgrades to how much better it's performing by the end. And so, yeah, that's one of the things. I feel my voice is starting to go, and I don't have anything up here. I don't have any water or anything. That's one of the problems with it being up here and disconnected. So we're probably going to have to wrap this one early because my voice is really going to go out here soon. The other couple things that we do have, I have a build for the Hard Park crawlers. They've got a little buggy thing that I have and I want to build. And so that's one of my next build projects. I'm trying to finish up the Mazda Designs cheat code that I have. And that's the V1. Just haven't built it yet, but it's mostly built. Just need to do axles, and I think that one's good to go. So we're going to just keep pressing on with a bunch of 24 scale stuff on top of everything else that we're going to be doing, because, again, we really like it. We can, I'll probably after my kids get done playing video games, challenge them to a little crawl off. We'll set some gates in the little room there, and we don't even have to do it long. We can just run them for 10 minutes and, just have a little competition for fun, and that's super cool to be able to do. So on top of it being useful for me with videos, it's just kind of fun with the kids, and they with their friends come over and they crawl on it for hours and have fun. I come down and they've like torn up, like there's like open packages where they're just like, oh, we needed to make their trucks better. So they're like hooking their friends up with my parts, which is hilarious. And I have what I call like a graveyard bin. It's all my takeoffs. And half the time I never go back in there and look through it. but I just throw stuff into this like Home Depot HDX or whatever bin, black and yellow bin. It just gets thrown in there. So he's like, their friend was just taking stuff like wheels and tires and roof racks off of the Bronco, and he cut it and put it on the top of his Gladiator, like all kinds of stuff. They were just having a blast working on them and driving them. And I think his truck went from being terrible compared to theirs on the course. I think he was beating them. Their friend was beating them before he left. It was a sleepover. So pretty funny. Got himself I gave him a set of brass wheels with scramblers on it. So that did help him a lot, I will say. And then he was just tweaking a whole bunch of other stuff. We had the shock mods and stuff like that to it, and just changed where they were mounted and a few simple things. But yeah, it's pretty fun to see them and their friends getting into it. And their friends already had the RCs, which is even cooler. Like, it's not because they saw our kids having them and then they wanted them. They already were playing with their own RCs and got the minis and all that. So, yeah. Anyway, we're not quite to 30 minutes. I'm going to wrap it here because I really need to go grab a drink of water. My throat's getting really raspy here. So I can feel like coughs coming on. That's the main thing. I feel like it's making me want to cough, and I need to grab a drink. So thank you guys for sticking around. And surprisingly, many of you actually come up to me and say you love the podcast. Not many people come in and say, hey, I love your YouTube channel. When I'm at an event or something, it's always, hey, man, I love the podcast. So I don't know if there's just a term that they use for the channel or whatever, or maybe they mean the live streams. I don't know. Maybe they mean this, but podcast. So thank you guys for tuning in, even though I've not been great about it. And we'll catch you next time.